Hello and welcome to JJK Yoga. We are going to spend the next 15 minutes or so doing some deep yoga stretches and really working into our hips. So come to lie on your mat. Have your knees bent and draw your right knee into your chest, interlacing your hands around the knee. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw that knee down towards your right armpit. Inhale, and as you exhale again, really squeeze the knee down. On your next inhale, lengthen the leg up to the ceiling. Interlace your hands behind your thighs, and then maybe walk your hands further up your leg. Keep drawing the right hip down towards the mat, and then just breathe into the back of that right hamstring. On your next inhale, point the toes. Exhale, flex the toes. Inhale, point and flex. One more. Inhale, point and flex. Now slowly bend that knee and place the outside of that foot onto that left thigh. And just use your right hand to draw that right thigh away from you. You can stay here, or you can lift your left foot off the mat, interlace your hands around the left thigh, and as you draw the left leg in towards you, use your right arm to draw that right leg away. Keep the right foot flexed. And again, just breathing here. Try to keep your lower back drawing down into the mat. Try not to let that right hip lift. And then slowly place the left foot down onto the mat. And we're going to bend that right knee out towards the chest. And you're going to grab either the back of the heel, the big toe, the inside of the foot, or the outside of the foot. So we're just going to really draw that knee down towards the mat and working that hamstring, the back of that right hamstring. And again, just that hip, the outside hip and hip flexor. So you want to draw that foot towards the ceiling, parallel to the ceiling, and draw that knee down. And just breathe here. You can keep your left knee reaching up to the ceiling, or you can come onto the left heel, extend the leg down the mat. Keep that heel pressing down into the mat. Once you find that juicy spot, just breathe into it. And then slowly bring your left foot back onto the mat. Release your right leg, place your right foot on the mat, and draw your left knee into your chest. Take an inhale, and again as you exhale, squeeze that knee down towards your left armpit. Make sure your right knee is pointing up to the ceiling. It's not starting to draw out to the side. On your next inhale, lengthen your left leg up to the ceiling. Wrap your hands around your left thigh. And again, you can just slide the hands further up your leg if you prefer. But just make sure that left hip is drawing down into the mat. And then just breathe in the back of that, into the back of that left hamstring. And then on your next inhale, point the toes. Exhale, flex the foot. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Point and flex. Now slowly bend that knee and place the outside of that foot onto the right thigh. Use your left hand to guide that left leg away from you. You might stay here. Or maybe you're going to raise your right foot, wrap your hands around your right thigh, and as you draw your right thigh in towards you, use your left arm to draw that left leg away. Again, check your left foot is flexed. And again, try to draw the lower back down towards the mat. Try to keep the hips nice and squared. And then slowly place your right foot down onto the mat. And again, we're going to come to that single-legged happy baby pose. So you can grab the back of the heel, the inside of the foot, the big toe, or maybe the outside of that foot. Again, just stretching that left hamstring and that hip. Again, you can keep your right knee bent here, or come onto your heel, lift the toes, take an inhale, and as you exhale, slide that heel down the mat. Make sure that heel's pressing down into the mat, and just really bringing that left foot parallel to the ceiling, drawing that knee out to the side. Once you find that juicy spot, just hold it there and breathe. And then slowly bend that right knee. Place the left foot back onto the mat, and then just draw both knees into your chest. Have a gentle hugging of the knees. And then we're just going to either roll onto one side if you have any lower back issues and come to a tabletop, or place your hands underneath your thighs, just rolling a few times on your spine, and slowly make your way to a tabletop position. Once in your tabletop position, bring your palms underneath your wrists, your palms underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We'll just do a couple of cat-cows here, a few cat-cows. So draw your tailbone back, chest forward as you inhale. Exhale, round the spine, up towards the ceiling. Really draw your chin towards your chest, navel towards the ceiling. Inhale, chest forward, tailbone back. Gaze forward. Exhale, again, just rounding the spine. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Now slowly slide your left leg back and step your right foot in between your hands. So we come to this low lunge position. Just keep your fingertips either side of your front foot. If your hands don't reach and you have blocks, you can use some blocks under your hands for support. And just find that stretch, maybe at the front of your left thigh, maybe on the inside or outside of that right leg, and just hold it there. Just keep your hands on the mat. I'm just going to tie my hair back because it's falling out. Now you're going to slowly bring your foot about a centimetre to the right, your right foot, and bring your hands onto the inside of your right leg. Keep drawing that right knee towards your right arm. Hold it there. If you want to go a little bit further, you can come down to your elbows. If your elbows are nearly to the floor but not quite there and you have blocks, you can place blocks under your forearms. And just hold it there. Make sure your knee's drawing into your right arm. And then slowly come up. Now we're going to walk the foot another centimetre to the right and then just turn your toes out. Now I'm going to give you two options here. You either keep your foot, you can either open your foot out, coming onto the outside of the foot and placing your hand onto your inside of your left thigh, turning your torso, right thigh, turning your torso over your right leg. Or you can keep the foot on the mat and then just slide your left leg down. Make sure the big toe's still on the mat, knee pointing up. You can just stay here and work on this position. Make sure you're still breathing. And then slowly make your way out. Bring your foot back. Bring your hands onto the inside of your foot again. Maybe come down to your elbows again, holding it there. And then slowly come back up. Come back to your lunge position. And from there, we're going to extend our hip back. And this time, we're going to point the toes down to the mat. Take an inhale as you exhale. Just try to soften the shoulders down the back and torso to the inside of that leg. And then lift the toes, and you're just going to bring your hands all the way back and slide your left hip onto that little heel, left hip bone onto that heel. right foot is flexed. Take an inhale as you exhale. You're just going to walk yourself on to the inside of your right leg. Just over time, just bring yourself closer over your thigh. And then slowly start to make your way back up, coming back to your tabletop, and step your right leg back and your left foot through, coming back into that lunge position. Hold it here, really breathing into the front of that right thigh. Again, just check your left knee is stacked above your left heel. And then bring your hands onto the inside of your leg. Maybe walk your leg a centimetre to the left. You're going to either come onto your hands, drawing the knee into the left arm, or come down to your elbows, or onto blocks, if you have them. Keep drawing that knee into the arm. Then slowly come back up. And this time you're just going to walk the foot another centimetre out to the left, turn the toes. So you're either coming onto the outside of the foot, placing your left hand onto that thigh, just turning your torso, opening that hip up, or keep the foot on the mat, and then just bring yourself down to bring your the front of your right hip all the way down to the mat. But make sure that big toe, the left big toe, is still on the mat, and just hold it here. So choose the option that's right for you. And then slowly come back out. Everyone bring your foot back. And then we're going to slowly bring our hands to the inside of that left foot. Or maybe come down to the elbows again and just hold it there. And then slowly come back up. Draw your hips back. And this time your toes pointing down towards the mat. Take an inhale as you exhale. Maybe walk yourself over your front leg. Trying to walk yourself into the inside of that left leg. Again, try to draw the shoulders away from the ears. And then slowly lift those toes and bring your heel all the way, right sit bone all the way back onto your right heel. Left foot nice and flexed, so you might just be here. Take an inhale as you exhale, maybe you can start to walk over your left leg. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back. Step back into your tabletop position. And then I'm going to turn towards you. Come sit on our heels. Now we're going to slide our right leg below and left leg on top. So you want to stack your knees and bring your feet behind you. So you're in this position. And then just feet down by either side of your hips. Just make sure you're nicely seated on both sit bones. And just maybe massage your feet out here. And then you're just going to bring your left elbow on top. So bring your left arm up, bend the elbow, bring your hand in between your shoulder blades. And use your right arm to draw that left hand further down your shoulder blades. You can stay there, or maybe bring your right arm behind you, interlace your fingers. If you're in this position, keep drawing your right shoulder back, left elbow reaches up. Take an inhale as you exhale. You can even start to slide your torso over your front leg, but just make sure both sit bones remain rooted on the mat. And then slowly come back up. Release your hands. And then we're just going to release the legs and switch them over. This time bringing the left foot leg underneath, right leg on top. Trying to stack the knees here. And so we'll just start, this time just interlace your fingers in between your toes and just stretching out the toes here. Just maybe turning the toes, gentle circular movements. And then release the toes. And this time you're going to bring your right arm up, bend the elbow, bring your left hand and just over that elbow, just guiding that right hand further down your shoulder blades. Or second option, bring your left arm behind you and interlace your fingers. If you're going for the second option, keep drawing that left shoulder back. Take a breath here, and then if you want, you can start to draw your torso over your legs. And just make sure those sit bones are rooted into the mat. And then slowly come back up. Release your hands, release your legs. Make your way to tabletop again. And this time you're going to bring your right knee behind your right wrist, right foot behind your left wrist, tuck your left hip under. Inhale, hands by your side, lengthen the torso. Exhale, walk your hands forward. And we're just going to take a few breaths in our pigeon pose. Really tucking that left hip under, right hip back. One more breath here. And then slowly walk your way back up. Bring yourself to tabletop. And this time bring your left knee behind your left wrist, left foot behind your right wrist. Tuck your right hip under. And then again, hands either side of your hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw your torso all the way over your left leg. Again, drawing that right hip under, that left hip back. Again, try to soften your shoulders down your back here. One more breath here. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up. And this time just bring your right leg in front. Come to lie on your mat. And we're just going to grab either the backs of our heels, the insides of our feet, big toes, or the outsides of our feet to come to that happy baby pose. So we did the single leg version earlier. So this time again, just bring the soles of your feet parallel to the ceiling, draw your knees down. Maybe just a gentle rock from side to side. Try to keep the lower back on the mat. And then just come to stillness as you use your hands to gently press your feet down so your knees just draw out to the sides. And then so gently draw your knees into your chest. Place your feet on the mat. And this time you're just going to drop your knees out to the side so the soles of your feet touch. Hands out either side. Just take a few breaths here. And then draw your knees back in towards each other. Rock your knees into your chest again. Slowly roll over to your right, come into a fetal position. Take a couple of breaths here. And then press your left palm down into the mat as you start to make your way to a seated position. Just roll your shoulders down your back here. Palms over your knees. Take a moment here just to notice how you're feeling. and any changes you're feeling after today's stretches. And then slowly walk your hands either side of your hips. And as you inhale, reach your arms over your head. And as you exhale, hands down to your heart center. Bring your forehead to meet your fingertips. Namaste.